All right, so I've been asked to break down Ryan Helsley, Orioles' new closer. We're going to look at what the moments last year with the Mets, and I've heard a lot of people say the Orioles signed this guy. He was terrible in New York. Let me explain that, and let me explain what I truly think about the Orioles' new closer. So first off, this is last year. Ryan Helsley's moved over from the Cardinals to the Mets, and early on you're going to see this, and this is why he had struggles, but circumstances, Ryan Helsley was taken out of his role. And in this case, when you're taken out of your role, you're trying to find it, and he couldn't find it early on. This is a 3-2 count to Harrison Bader. He's going to leave a fastball in, and it's going to go a little, hey, how you doing? This ball's going to get launched. And it was hit deep into the New York night, and that was kind of a microcosm of how things went for the New York Mets in the second half of the season. But this is some cases right here. This is Helsley versus Dansby Swanson. And so he's known for having a heater, and I mean a very good heater. And I think that a couple of the examples you're going to see is actually good pitch location, but better swing. Because he's going to run a fastball in here, and I mean it is going to be moving in, and Dansby Swanson's going to somehow get his hands inside the baseball and hit this up the middle. Now granted, he doesn't smoke this up the middle. That's 100 miles an hour, by the way, off the bat. And that thing is now getting pushed into the outfield, you'll see. You're sitting there going, damn, how did he hit that? Truly, truly a great piece of hitting. Like, really good. And I'd be, tip your hat to the hitter right there. Now, this is even more impressive. This is Contreras on the Brewers. And Helsley's going to elevate a fastball. You can see the catcher here. He's calling for that high fastball. You want to try to have it get above this zone. And essentially, I'd even be fine with the top of that zone. When you throw 100, you think it's a good pitch. But the thing with Contreras, this dude is a good swinger. When he's hot, he can hit anything. And even though this fastball is going to be elevated, I'm still wondering how the hell he hit this ball. Because it's a high fastball. It's got juice. If you see this, then 100, right at the top of the zone. Like, that's a good pitcher's pitch. Just a better swing. And sometimes you just got to tip your cap and say, hey, that's better hitting than better pitching. And for Helsley, though, overall, it's these moments where this happened more, and when you look and break it down, it wasn't like it was a terrible pitch. Now, this case, he's going to miss his location. Catcher's setting up outside here. So, all right, fastball away, fastball away. Well, he's going to miss this way inside down here, and that's going to lead to a first pitch swinging. Smoked ball, and again 101 off for Riley Green. It's not a bad pitch, but the location wasn't there. So Helsley throws 2 pitches: slider, fastball. That's his 2 pitches predominantly, and they are hard. You'll see later on the slider, when he throws it appropriately and right, it's a almost daunting pitch to face. But when you hang it and it spins up there, like in this case, it's going to spin up and just stay right there. Well, when Connor Norby, former Oriole, he's going to hit it. It's a very hittable pitch when it's laid up there. Same with Suarez. You're going to see catcher behind the dish is looking at this away. He wants it this way. Instead, you're going to hang it right down here. Hey now. And it's going to be yet another hit. So that was the bad of Helsley with the Mets. But again, some of that was good pitching and better hitting. Some of that was bad location. But now let's talk about Ryan Helsley a little bit here on the sense of this is why the Orioles got him, because that fastball and slider are elite. But he's just got to be better with it, or that slider's got to fool that left-handed hitter or right-handed batter in this case. So right here, you're going to see this is Bryce Harper. And a lot of these hitters, by the way, Helsley's going after some of the best in the game. A hard fastball is going to create problems. And you can see for Helsley, he can get away with it at times. But he's going to throw a fastball down here, and Bryce ain't going to react to it quick enough. That's 100. Ground ball, shifted over, got to get the out. You feel good. But this is what I was talking about, the breaking ball, of having this effect and being able to buckle hitters. So earlier on, if you just spin it up there and the ball just spins and doesn't do much, well, the hitter then is going to not react as well. They believe that they can stay back and then drive the baseball. But when that thing's got more bite, it's got more depth, is what I say, it can freeze a hitter like Harper. So watch this. The location, it's going to be middle of the plate. Sorry, a little bit higher even, but it was a backdoor slider that fooled Harper. And then once again, you're going to see another one. Same thing. Slider's middle of the plate, but it had more bite to it. And when it has that bite, it can keep hitters off guard. And that's what Helsley can do, even if he misses on some pitches. But if it just loops in there like on the other ones we saw, it's going to be trouble. Here, going back, let me go back for a second. Play. Do it to it. So, one more time for the one time. Hey, now, hey. So right here, this is where the fastball can present problems. So Helsley, because he's throwing so hard, hitters, it's going to speed them up. And typically, if you can locate it well, it can be impossible, but also you can have more opportunities for success, even if you were to miss spots because of how hard the velo is. Now Helsley right here, he's going to throw fastball down, 101. Walker's swinging here, and he wants it high, and he misses his spot, right? Misses it low, but when you throw that hard, you can get away with more. So this is why I'm buying Helsley. That fastball is elite. Now here's another example here. He wants it in, right there, there's the mitt. He's going to miss. He's going to miss out here, and it's actually a good place to miss. But this is what happens when you have a hard fastball. He's going to put it right on the line. 96 is going to say, but I think it was probably a little bit harder. But even if it's not, that's an excellent location. I mean, you can't draw that up any better. That's right on the black. And yes, the ball was hit right back at him, but it was only hit in the 80s, not that hard off the bat, and you get the out. Now here's friend of the show, friend of the program, Gavin Sheets. Sorry, Gav, you're a great example. But again, this is the black. This is the outside corner. And this is what we call an unhittable pitch. You can see the catcher's saying we want this away, and Helsley is going to literally paint that line. Now I'm sorry, Gav. I mean, it can't get any more perfect than that. That is a hitter's worst nightmare, and that's where you tip your cap and say there's nothing we can do about that. So Gavin's down. Here's Schwarber, and here's back to that breaking ball being able to have hitters flinch. So right here, you can see the ball, but look at that depth, and look where it's going to drop down. It fools them. And I want to bring up this backdoor breaking ball concept here. Helsley can get away with more with this backdoor breaker because of the ability that it's making hitters think. It's the way it's coming out of the hand that's forcing guys to feel uncomfortable. That's what Helsley can provide here. This is some of the best in the game here, right? And I picked it intentionally. But this is where his slider's at his most effectiveness. This is where his slider's the most effective. Sorry for the verbiage being off there. Here's Bregman. This ball ain't going to be in the zone, but it's the bite of the curveball that's going to get him swinging. So here we go. Look at that. That ball even starts off not even higher than here, but because of how hard it is coming in, it's going to force a swing and miss. Let me bring that back up here for a second. So I'll get the Schwarber. Let's watch this again real quickly. So watch when this ball is going to start out of the hand. I mean, it barely reaches this bottom zone, and typically for a slider, you maybe want it to be a little bit higher up if it's that type of movement, but that's how hard Helsley's slider is, and because it's fastball and the way it's rising, and you got to make a decision quick, that's why they play well off of each other. So you can start a slider off here because Bregman's like, oh crap, I got to be ready for that heater, and you can get a lot more swing and misses in the dirt. And you're going to see a trend here. These are some of the best in the game. Well, this is actually that example of going fastball slider. So you saw Bregman on the slider. Here's Helsley then going up, a little elevator. And Duran's looking for a heater. And he can miss with this. This is the beauty of having a hard fastball. You can miss, and it's still going to throw the hitter off. Look how high this fastball is. Nowhere near, somewhat near where he wanted it, but he gets the out. This makes him so challenging. Now, Will Smith, hero in the World Series for the Dodgers hit the game-winning homer in Game 7. Watch the slider. I mean, it's barely above in the zone there. That's the bottom. But every one of these is going to finish down here. Why? Because it's a hard slider and it doesn't have to have that big loop. Helsley gets in trouble when that slider is a little bit loopier. When it is sharp and like that, he can get almost any hitter. Here's Matt Olson. This ball is not even close from the start. That ball is already down here, right? But because of the way it has so much bite and depth to it, the reaction time for Olson isn't enough, and it can make a hitter flinch. It can make a hitter commit because they're a little bit unsure, and the big reason because of it is that fastball. Everything that Helsley does is hard. Hard fastball, hard slider. And if he can keep that slider sharp, he can keep that fastball with the momentum rising up, he's going to have success. And this guy could end up being the best closer in 2026 of all the free agent guys on the market because he has that ability. So don't buy what happened in New York. When you're in New York, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. And he was taken out of a role of being the ninth inning guy. So imagine they trade for you and they said, hey, we want that closer player on the Mets, but we're going to have you coming in the 7th, in the 8th. Place you haven't been in the last few years. And also, we're going to bring you in different situations. It's a hard thing to ask, and then you get hit up a little bit, and then you're put in uncompetitive situations. And actually, a lot of those games with the Mets, he was brought in games where they're down 8 runs or up 8 runs. And that's not a position you want to pitch in either. He wants to be in down to the wire, everything's on the line, because that's where he thrives. And I do believe Helsley is going to thrive here again in 2026 for the Baltimore Orioles. That's all I got right now, guys.